DJ here with ACHV PEAK, and today we are back with another review of a leg press hack squat machine. Today we're going to be reviewing the GMWD leg press hack squat unit. You can find it on Amazon under the GMWD store. When I click on the actual option, it is going to be the Liger Black option with an MSRP of $899.99, but you could typically find it on sale. First things first, we're gonna get into the construction and dimensions, then we're gonna move on to my likes, dislikes, and then we'll finish this review up with, as always, my overall thoughts. To start it off, we're going to go over some basic construction. The unit, the actual frame, is going to be made out of 14 gauge steel, and then the bearings or the sled is actually going to be linear bearings on a solid guide rod. Also, I want to note this unit is not considered a compact leg press hack squat unit. If you're looking for a compact machine, you might want to look at a different unit for GMWD. This one isn't compact because of mainly these secondary weight pegs that you have here. But the unit overall is 84 inches deep and 54 inches wide from peg to peg right here. If you're going to add weight to it, on the back storage pegs, you're gonna wanna add probably another 9 to 10 inches of necessary space because it's gonna have to be pushed off the wall. And then also with that 54-inch rough mark from here to the other side, that doesn't give you space to actually put the plate on, so you're probably gonna wanna account for at least another foot, foot and a half on each side to easily be able to add your plates to these top pegs right here. The lower foot plate is going to be 27 inches wide by 33 inches tall. The upper foot plate is going to be 13 inches tall by 22 inches wide. And then, like I said earlier, it does have linear bearings in the sled with solid steel guide rods on there. And then the sled also has 4 weight pegs in total, 2 at the top and then 2 at the bottom. Each one has a stated capacity of 250 pounds, which gives your actual sled 1,000-pound capacity. And then you have 2 additional storage pegs back here with 250 each, giving the machine a total of 1,500-pound capacity, but only 1,000 working pounds of weight. Let's dive into the likes real quick here so don't take up a ton of time. One of the biggest things I like about this unit is going to be the ease of use, which what I mean by that is going to be the quickness in which you can transition. It literally takes me like 10 to 15 seconds to set up from leg press to hack squat and hack squat back to leg press. All you do is pull the pop pin right here on this other plate, drop it down, move your upper pad or your back pad to the back right here, just drops in to a little spot right up here. Pull the seat pad right here that your bottom sits on, adjust your bottom plate, and you're off to the races. And it's literally that simple just to get right back into leg press setup. And I appreciate that, how simple it is. You know, you don't have to go around the back of the plate and try to find anything. And I really appreciate that because I found on like 4 or 5 different units that the pin for the upper plate, you kind of feel around up in there, look up under, and sometimes it's kind of hassle. So I really appreciate kind of how they set it up and to make that easy to do. Another thing I like is actually the width of the plate on the upper plate and then the height on the lower plate. So the lower plate seems to be a little bit taller than normal. And sometimes when I'm doing hack squat, I like to get my feet a little bit higher. And so it doesn't like kind of put such a shearing motion on or feeling on my knees. And it gives you that little extra hamstring work while you're doing it. So it gives you that option by allowing you to have that really tall base plate. And then the width on the top plate is pretty nice too. It allows you to get your feet a little wider. And then it's already, I know it's only 13 inches tall, but it's actually kind of pushed up a little bit. And so the height on it is actually pretty solid too. Even though the overall height of the top plate is a little small or short, it's still a pretty solid spot right there. One of the things I really like about this machine is going to be this safety stop right here. And while it can kind of get in the way, there's a screw on the other side that you can undo, and then you can actually just pull that piece completely out. And what that allows to happen is your sled to go completely down. And so if you need just that little bit of extra range of motion, you could essentially pull out your safety stop. But what's nice about the safety stop is that if you're concerned with going too far, or maybe you just only want to hit like parallel on your hack squat or your leg press and not go too far, or you have like a certain range of motion, maybe due to injuries or just other constraints, you can adjust that safety stop right here higher or lower, or you can completely pull it out. So it kind of gives you the option. And honestly, what I find is that the range of motion is pretty solid with it in, but if you just want that added little extra range of motion, you can pull it out completely and get that increase in range of motion if that's what you're looking for. And so I really like that they give you that safety option, but then you can also remove it if you want to hit that extra range of motion. All right, we got a few more things here on the likes. Another like that I have is these removable band pegs. What I like about these is that when you're in the leg press setup, what I like to do is put my feet down. So let me go to the other side and I'll show you. So when I get into leg press position, I don't really sit into it like that. What I end up doing is putting my feet through, and on a lot of units, the band pegs are unmovable or non-removable. And so then I have to step on the band pegs like you see here and then get into it. And what's nice is that when I'm in leg press position and I'm not using them, I can just remove them, sit them off to the side, and then getting in and out of the unit now is super easy, and I don't have to worry about stepping on anything down there. And so as you can see right here, it's nice and easy. Drop down, get set up. When I'm done, get back out. And so I like to get in like that instead of coming like this and then sitting down and getting all over. I don't like to do that. I like to step my feet in and then sit down normally. And so that's why I like the removable band pegs, and they actually have 3 positions for your band pegs to go in. So if you kind of want to move them a little forward or a little back, or just have one band peg in, or separate them out, you can do that as well, just like that. And so I really like the band pegs and that they're removable. Last thing I really like is going to be the wheels. I like that you can move this thing around with ease. That's one of the reasons I actually really like the hip thrust machine that we have as well. You can just pick them up, roll them around, get them out of the way, turn them sideways, whatever you want to do, and it's easy. We do have a few dislikes. We'll go into them real quick. There's not a ton. I think we have four dislikes that we'll go over, nothing crazy. The first one is going to be when I have the back pad and the hack squat, it has a little bit of play for me. So they probably could add like an extra 1/4 inch. So this little cylinder right here goes into a spot, so you can probably see it right here. I'll take some other videos so you can see it right here. And when it sits down like that, you can see that it kind of goes up and down. What happens is when I'm doing hack squat, I start off with good intentions, having my back nice and firmly planted, but then as I get into it, I end up kind of tilting back like that. And so sometimes you can see, and it ends up scaring me. Sometimes I think like something's breaking whenever I'm doing it, because I'll literally be like down here, back is planted, and then as I come up and I'm driving, now my head is pushing back and my hips are kind of wanting to go forward, and it ends up being like, dong, and I'm like, oh crap. But nothing's actually happened. It just took me a couple reps of getting used to it, and then usually once it happens once, it just kind of stays in that kind of position more like this versus like that, which I'm totally fine with. It's not coming out because it is like two or three and a half inches in there. So it's not coming out. It's just a little bit wobbly. And so I would prefer if they just added like an extra 1/4 inch right here onto this, and that'd be like perfect. So then that thing would be nice and stable. One of the other dislikes I have, let me grab this pop pin right here. It's just the overall height of the upper foot plate. I do wish that it came down a little bit further. I'm not sure what you would do with the pop pin right here, but what I find is that when I want to kind of target more quads and get my feet a little closer together and really just try to tear up my quads, not doing a hack squat, but doing a leg press, which is something I like to do because it kind of mimics jumping for me. I play a lot of volleyball. And so I kind of want to do that, but what ends up happening is my heel or side of my foot ends up kind of hitting the pop pin or the actual housing for the pop pin right here. And so I wish there was some way to kind of move the pop pin around, drop this plate a little bit lower, so then you have options to move your feet higher or lower when you're wanting to kind of target specific muscle groups. And so in the future, I would like to see some type of change like that or figure out some modification. But right now, I just kind of work around it. I'll put my feet like as close as I can until I start doing reps and the side of my foot ends up starting to hit that pop pin. Side note, if the pop pin were to come out, you could still do the leg presses, although it's not coming out. It's not like, I'm not hitting it like that. I'm more pushing it this way and to the side versus trying to pull it out like that. But if you're doing a leg press and the pop pin is coming out, it doesn't matter because the actual housing for the leg press hits this bar right here. And so the pop pin just holds it in place to stay up. It actually doesn't support the actual foot plate. It doesn't actually do anything for stability wise and hold the unit in place. So I'm not too concerned with that. Last dislike I have on this is going to be kind of a lack of a designated calf raise, which I really feel like they could have hit on because you have like a perfect spot right here. And so I feel like right now it's kind of like angled just a little bit. It's not like at a perfect degree, like a 90 degree with this, but I feel like with these bolts right here, maybe if you use like a different bolt, like a carriage bolt or something, or just raise it up a little bit and like countersunk those and made this sled just a little bit taller, maybe like 4 inches or so, and then put like some type of grip tape right there. Man, that would have been like the ultimate hit for like the calf raise spot, because you can do calf raises here. It's just kind of slick and then your feet end up hitting the bolt heads right there. And so I think, you know, you can definitely still do calf raises. You can get away with it. I've done tons of calf raises on this thing already, but if you really wanted to hit the mark, that would have been it. And like I said, my dislikes are all, I don't know, petty if you will, but I feel like you already have this plate. It's actually already at a really good angle, just a little bit more, and you'd eked out some greatness on the calf raises. And it's something I could look at doing, even just having grip tape right there. Could be great. I could probably put my feet on each side of the bolt and it'd be fantastic. And so I'll probably end up doing that in the future, just kind of getting some grip tape and putting it right there so I have a little bit of stability when I'm doing the calf raises. But I think that was a little bit of a miss right there on their part. Having it as a leg press hack squat, you have the perfect spot for a calf raise. And, you know, a little bit extra right there would have been fantastic for me. Let's get into some overall thoughts, kind of the end of this thing. What do I think about it? What are my true thoughts about this thing? What do we think, huh? What are we feeling here? Overall, this is a pretty nice quality machine for the price. Of course, you can find more expensive units. You can find cheaper units, but for the price, it's a really solid unit. Does it have a few misses? Yes, it does. Is the foot plate a little bit small? Yes, it is. But 1,000-pound capacity, the weight storage pegs, how I like them, horizontal, removable band pegs, good solid base plate, quick to transition, doesn't take up a ton of room, a little bigger than compact, but nothing crazy. Got a nice safety feature. I'm a yes for this thing. I like it. I appreciate it. So I think the quality to price ratio is right there for me. I also find that this thing probably has one of the better range of motions that I've come across, especially when you pull out the little safety stop. And by the way, even when you pull a safety stop, it's not like you're just gonna keep dropping into oblivion. It still will just end up hitting on the guide rods if you end up failing a rep and can't get it. It just gives you that little bit of extra, but then it also provides some safety there for whenever you want it. Another thing I really like about this, like I said on the likes, is the rollers. That is huge for me. It is, I can't even express this enough. The lack of being able to move around a machine this large in here is a royal pain in the neck from doing reviews. I mean, we're in a garage, so opening the garage, if I want to open the garage, like this thing sits right up against the garage, so being able to pull it out away from the garage and add that little bit of extra space in the garage if the boys are out riding the bike, that's a huge plus for me. And so being able to kind of move this thing and make it mobile, even with the weight, is fantastic. Can't express that enough. So last things here, would I pay MSRP for this unit? Honest answer, yeah, I would pay that. I mean, under $1,000 for a 1,000-pound capacity, leg press hack squat. It's a nice solid unit. It feels good when I'm using it. It's quick to transition. Everything I said, I would pay the asking price of $900. I don't think that's overpriced. I think that's a great value, to be honest. I think that's still in the value range. I've found other ones that are $1,400, $1,500 with equal or lesser quality and range of motion and no ability to actually move it. So for $800, I'm a yes on would I buy this. I'm a total yes. Final thing I want to say here is that don't forget that this is not a compact leg press machine. This is a great leg press hack squat machine. Don't get me wrong, it's a good unit. It's just not that compact form factor. And I think a lot of people might see this, they look at it and like, oh yeah, this is a great unit. It's comparable with a lot of compact units. It's in that same price range, but it's not a compact leg press. So if you're looking for a compact leg press, you might want to look at something else. But if you're looking for a budget hack squat leg press that is not compact, that has a really high capacity, offers a lot of really good features, I think you should consider this unit. If you want to check it out, you can find it on Amazon.com, on the GMWD fitness website. I'll post the links down in the description. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one.